Oh, we're on. Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Sci-Fi Journal presented by the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club for February 2013. The year's just flying by. I'm Marc Morisseau. Also hosting the show today are Kingston and James Hinsey. Ta-da!
Yep.
Happy New Year, gentlemen. We didn't say it last time, so I'll say it again.
Happy New Year. Well, yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
But it's February now for the show.
It's February 5th, the month of love. That's why you're wearing your red sweater today.
No, that's not why I'm wearing my red sweater.
Just go with me, Jay. All right.
I'm a red shirt.
You're a red shirt.
Yes,
oh, no.
Somewhere during this episode, I will be killed off.
Okay. Sometimes during the episode, you will die horribly.
We'll just call you Kenny.
Probably during your reviews. And speaking of reviews for movies, we start off with Jay and popcorn previews. Take it away, Jay.
Well, yeah, it looks like we got a good month ahead of us right now as far as popcorn previews go. Let's start right off with a film called After Earth, and this stars Jaden Smith and Will Smith.
Yes.
And they are father and son who are originally on a training mission but get marooned on a planet that has been abandoned for 1,000 years, and that planet is the planet Earth. Mm-hmm. And apparently things have evolved in 1,000 years on the planet that are all out to kill mankind. So Jaden has to try to find some kind of way of communicating to get rescued because his father, who's a legendary warrior, is injured critically. This film is set to open on June 7th of this year. And it's not yet rated, but let's take a look at the footage.
Crash landed. 2 confirmed survivors. Son, this is not training. This is a Class 1 quarantined planet. The threats we will be facing are real. Everything on this planet has evolved to kill humans. Every single decision we make will be life or death. But if we are going to survive this, you must realize that fear is not real. It is a product of thoughts you create. Now, do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real. But fear is a choice. Do you know where we are?
No, sir.
This is Earth.
Now, from what I've seen, it looks like it will probably be at the very least a PG-13
At least.
type movie.
Probably.
Yeah, because people have turned into tasty snacks for the for the people returning. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, the opening sequences with the ship itself being destroyed are pretty cool.
Yep.
You know, so. Next we have Despicable Me 2. Now we gave you a little glimpse of this before, and it was just a comic type
Teaser.
Right.
But this one has a little more meat to it. Apparently there are some aliens involved in this, or at least alleged alien involvement with this, and this one looks pretty funny too, starring the voice talents of Steve Carell. And this one is set to open on July 13th and is not yet rated, although it's probably going to come out with a PG-13.
Right.
So let's take a look at that footage.
Bodu bleeb, bobu geep, bodwa da, du, da, dwa, ma. Eh, put? Oh, Martina? Una, two. Look at tu. Mulak.
Yeah, the first one was a really sweet movie. That was a lot of fun.
Grossed $540 million worldwide.
Yep.
Wow.
Did really well. Next we have Oblivion, which stars Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman. And basically, again, Earth has been destroyed, or at least ravaged, to the point where humanity can no longer live on Earth. And Tom Cruise is going back to set up different satellites and such to monitor the conditions so that people can eventually come back. But he finds out that he is not alone on the planet. And there is there's a whole conflict of whether or not he is doing the right thing and whether we are actually doing the right thing by the planet itself and by humanity.
Right.
So it's one of those conscience conflict type films. This one is scheduled to open April 12th, and of course is not yet rated.
Now I heard that before we show the clip, I heard that there was some delays in this movie. They're not quite sure exactly when. They might be. It's one of those movies where they might hold off and release it later because of the competition from other films.
Yeah.
So.
Well, right now they've got it scheduled for April 12th.
For April 12th.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
roll that beautiful bean footage.
The last Super Bowl was played right here.
Please don't tell me it was a classic.
Classic game. 80,000 people on their feet. Seconds left on the clock. So Hubie throws a Hail Mary. Touchdown! 166, back online. 60 years ago, Earth was attacked. We won the war, but they destroyed half the planet. Everyone's been evacuated. Nothing human remains. We're here for drone repair with a mop-up crew. This is Jack Harper. I'm good to go.
2 more weeks, Jack, and we can finally leave and join the others. Don't take any chances.
watching you, Jack. You're curious. What are you looking for in those books? Do they bring back old memories?
We have an unidentified impact.
Don't ask too many questions.
They are human.
Mission is ordering you to return to tower.
Jack.
How do you know my name?
They're firing on survivors. Stand down!
What have you done?
I can't protect you.
They won't stop till they find me.
If you're looking for the truth, that's where you'll find it.
You need to know what happened.
What aren't you telling me?
Who are you?
Jack, mission is ordering you to stand down.
I'm not gonna do that. This is the only way.
Okay, next we have the ABCs of Death. Now this is a really interesting film because this is 26 different directors with 26 different stories, all compiled into one big anthology, and it's 26 different ways to die.
Oh,
And
interesting.
it's billed as science fiction, but it looks more like a slasher film to me. So I'll let you guys be the judge for yourselves. This one opens on March 8th of this year and is rated R. So let's take a look.
B, C, D. H, I, J, K. L, O, N, O.
Children will never know how this ended.
Sing with me.
Now, are they imaginative ways to die?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Very imaginative ways to die. I mean, some are straightforward slasher type things, but
Right.
there's stuff involving bees in it and things like
Oh.
that. So,
Yeah. There is a TV show about 1,001 Ways to Die.
1,001 Ways to Die,
Yeah.
and it goes through the computer graphics of showing things. And
Yeah.
it's,
And some of them, they're all, I guess, true stories in some
Yeah.
way.
in some way.
In some way, yeah. Say goodbye to educational television. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And finally, we've got The Lone Ranger, starring Johnny Depp and Armie Hammer. And
Armie
let's see.
Hammer?
Yep.
Oh, all right. Oh, I was thinking of the baking soda. Go ahead.
No, that's Arm and Hammer.
Thank you.
This one is, again, a classic tale that is being brought back and retold with some modern sensibilities to it, but the clip actually looks very entertaining. It looks pretty good.
Some modern sensibilities. What? Tonto has a cell phone? What? What are you talking about?
No, some modern sensibilities like an updating of language
Oh, okay.
and things of that nature.
right.
So,
This
different
is-
euphemisms.
And this is from Gore Zabinski, too, right? Who did the
Yes.
Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
It absolutely
So
is.
that's why Johnny Depp is working in
Yeah.
the movie. All right.
Yep. And this one is scheduled to open on July 3rd of this coming year, or this year, I should say. And it is not yet rated. So let's take a look at that footage.
Why are you talking to that horse? Why am I covered in dirt?
I buried you.
Why am I alive?
Eight men rode into canyon. I dug 7 graves. Horse says you are a spirit walker. A man who has been to the other side and returned. A man who cannot be killed in battle. Something very wrong with that horse.
If we ride together, we ride for justice.
Justice is what I seek, Kimosabe. People think you are dead. Better to stay that way.
You want me to wear a mask?
There'll come a time when good man must wear mask.
All right. Let's do this.
And that is all she wrote for Popcorn Previews for the month of February.
Okay. Why don't you intro Comic-Con stuff?
Well, okay. As you all know, if you've been watching the past couple of episodes, we have a ton of footage from Comic-Con, Rhode Island Comic-Con.
A ton. You should see us try to carry this stuff into
It really is true. I mean, I've got, such a hernia. Oi.
Oi.
But anyway, here's our last looks at Comic-Con from 2012. And
November, yep.
Yep, and believe me, if this doesn't convince you to go next year, I don't know what will, but it was a great time, so let's take a look at the Comic-Con footage.
We are at the Rhode Island Convention Center because we are enjoying Rhode Island Comic-Con, which took place November 3rd and 4th right here in Providence, Rhode Island. And we're excited because first time we've ever had a huge convention like this in our little state. So I'm Marc Morisseau. Also hosting the show today are
James Hinsey,
Jay Kingston,
Calvin Watts III.
All right, and we are going to do a lot of things for you today. We're going to show you some press junkets with the different stars. We're going to be interviewing some of the fans wearing costumes. We'll be talking to some of the vendors. It should be a great time. Anything you want to add?
and we got our own table here today, so we're promoting the show and the club and passing out flyers.
Okay, Jay.
Go Patriots.
Calvin.
There's a lot of stuff going on today. They got gaming tournaments, both video and card upstairs, so I plan on checking those out. Gonna be a lot of fun.
Yep, should be a nice time. So let's go take a look.
Yeah. It's like that 50-foot pole moment. 50-foot pole? No, it's called broad.
I ain't got no time to bleed.
Found Waldo.
See? Quick!
Because I was so angry that I had to dance. That's all the copy now.
Thank you, guys.
One of the things that we like to do is promote as many Rhode Island public access cable TV shows as possible. And this weekend at this convention, it's nice because we have Keith and Sandra Johnson from Ghosts Are Near. Hi, guys.
Hi there. How you doing? Good to see you.
Hello.
Now, tell me a little bit about when did you start your show? When did your program begin?
We started our show in 2006, and we wanted to do something where we could get the word out there about paranormal investigation, and we specialize, of course, in malevolent hauntings, like the demonology and things like that. And it's a talk show, and we also go on location, on site, and interview authors and wonderful people like yourselves.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much. And how did you get, what kind of interest do you have in the paranormal? How did you get involved in this?
Actually, I did not have a huge interest in the paranormal growing up, but I married this man.
Yeah, all right.
And one day, he came home from one of his investigations with TAPS, before we were both members of TAPS, and he was playing some of his recordings for me. And of course, he specializes, as he said, in malevolent hauntings and interventions for people who are experiencing possible demonics, or as you said, malevolent hauntings. And the recording was of a blessing that he did of a home, and I said, wow, I guess I'm married to the exorcist. And the rest is history. I wound up joining TAPS along with him, and then we branched off and formed New England Anomalies Research and started the show Ghosts Are Near.
You're in Rhode Island.
Yes.
You investigated a lot of different places in Rhode Island.
Oh, yes.
In your opinion, what would be the spookiest or most haunted location in the state of Rhode Island?
I would say the Ladd Center.
Okay, all right, I've heard that.
Right, yep. Unfortunately, it's off limits. It's no trespassing, but yeah, we have investigated there, and I would say that is, beyond doubt, the most haunted place in Rhode Island.
Okay, why would you say that?
It's a former institution that was closed down. There was a lot of patient neglect and abuse, and it was like a laboratory in itself of paranormal activity. You go in there and you get voices on recording, so very, very eerie place.
Now, tell the audience a little bit about any future episode that you've got coming up.
Oh, well, we've been doing episodes right along. We've done Rhode Island vampires recently, and we've got all sorts of... Rhode Island, it seems to be endless, the number of haunted locations there are, especially in New England. We're going to go to the Lizzie Borden house very soon and do an episode there.
Was that Fall River, New Bedford?
Fall River, Mass, yep. Yep. Investigate what happened with the Borden murders and be guests there. And also we have an ongoing investigation in this house in Harrisville, Rhode Island.
I was hoping you'd mention that.
Oh yes, yes. It's going to be made into a major motion picture.
Oh, nice.
And it's coming out in July of 2013.
All right.
It considers the Perrin family and what they went through with a 10-year haunting in a house in Harrisville, Rhode Island. And it's a true story, and it was the first case I was involved in as a teenager. So.
Right. Now, if you want to get in touch with you guys, promote your website or email or such.
Well, our website is www.nearparanormal.com, and our show, Ghosts Are Near, it can be found statewide in Rhode Island, 8 o'clock, Friday nights, Channel 13, and on Cox Cable, and also on
Verizon, that would be Channel 32 on Verizon.
I believe so. I always get it mixed up. 31, 32, I'm not sure, but I think it's 32.
And you have a YouTube channel also?
Yes, our episodes are on YouTube.com. Yep.
All right. So catch Ghosts On Air because it's an awesome program. Keith and Sandra, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. You're welcome. You know, sometimes when I go around these conventions, I like to look at the different tables, the vendors, and the artists. I really like to stop at the artist booth. And once in a while, you find an artist whose work is so good, you don't know what to buy because there's so many good things. And such is the case with Mr. Marc Rollstone. Hi, Marc. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and how you got started with the art?
Okay. Well, growing up, I always drew. I was lucky enough that my school had an art program from first grade all the way to high school. I then applied to Mass College of Art, where I got in as an illustration major. I graduated from there, and for the past 15 years I've worked for licensed sports apparel companies.
Oh, nice.
But the last 3 years I've been out on my own. I freelance design and I sell my own artwork.
Okay, very good. Now, what was the inspiration for robots?
growing up, I always loved monster movies and science fiction, and it just sort of creeped into my work. And I would think of the scenarios of the movies and just try to boil them down into a single piece.
Okay. Now, I noticed you've got some really cool wooden robots here, and you also have some that have magnets, and you can buy different button sets for the magnets. Can you talk a little bit about that?
The robot is based on a drawing of mine. I took it to a local woodworker at woodentoyjunction.com, a great guy to work with. We did some prototypes and we came up with something that we really liked, and I just made some for the holiday season.
Cool. So you have somebody who's making these robots, you design them, he makes them for you? Is that how it works? Okay.
I'm not very good with power tools. I'd cut my fingers off.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that as an artist either. Okay, now what about, I got to ask you about the cats and the Godzilla-like monsters. How'd you get inspiration for those?
The Monster vs. the World series just started off with this one goofy little drawing, him approaching a city, and then I just kind of took off with it from there. I thought about all the scenarios from monster movies like Godzilla.
Right.
You know, the things that they always seem to encounter, which is, you know, factories or power lines, and I just went from there.
Okay. And I also noticed too, you've got like riding dinosaurs and dinosaurs on a leash. Like, how'd you come up with those ideas?
The Walking Man series, I like working with icons, so I took the Walking Man symbol and just put them in these kind of ridiculous situations. And some of them tell a little more story than others, but I just thought it was a fun thing to do.
Nice. Now, if people want to get in touch with you or check out your artwork, is there a website they can go to?
Yes, I have a store online. Everything's available. It's marcartshop.com. That's MARCARTSHOP.com.
Okay, good. And my name is Marc with a C also.
Yes.
So we have something in common. All right, Marc, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Let's see what else is around.
Protecting his past to ensure your future.
Hey, take it in.
Felix, how about yourself?
How do I get started?
He's just lucky to get. Well, how'd you get started with the Buck Rogers show?
Here we go again. Oh man.
There you go
Are you
again.
gonna shut up?
Say again?
Let me talk. You shut up.
Stand up, Phil.
I am standing up. Anyway, actually, the way it came about, I knew one of the producers, but am I keeping you awake?
Unfortunately, you're not.
Am I
no.
keeping you awake?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Try harder, would you?
Wake up, will you?
Well, I am.
Anyway, I had to compete with other old people. Also, I think they were talking about, you remember the Battlestar Galactica Old Monkey?
Yeah.
They were talking about putting the old monkey inside the suit.
What? In our show?
Buck Rogers,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
I mean, how can you make a little animal walk around and standing all day, you know, inside of a suit? So that was my competition. I had to compete.
That's what the astronauts were talking about, remember? They said, you know, the monkey went up instead of them?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Oh.
That's how I got my
Thank
job.
God,
That's
that
how I
was
got the
a
job.
little bit too long.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Gotta tell you something though. I've done this both behind his back and in front of his face. But Felix here never gets the credit for what he did with Tweaky. That character that was so beloved, some people don't like him, that's fine, but that most people really love the character of Tweaky. When we shot the motion picture, Tweaky did not have a voice. It was all, the whole relationship between Tweaky and Buck was silent on his part. What Felix did was, he created a character that was so lovable and so warm without being seen at all, through 2 inches of plastic. And to me, that is like a really incredible thing that he did. And he never gets the credit he deserves for it. So would you give him a hand for doing that? There's no money involved.
I really
Right?
appreciate.
What?
I really, you know, I mean, I didn't know you were such a good friend, but I understand when I'm around, you say other stories.
No.
The driver told me on the way over here from Boston.
Yeah.
He said, I have a message from you, from Gerard to you, and he said, stand up. And you know what? That's the same thing over and over and over. And I tell Gil, shut up.
Shut your face.
Shut your face, you're right.
I will say this, I am writing 4 stories. For some reason I can't get the rights from the Dilly family for me to write. I mean, you think, you know, Buck Rogers would like to write some of the stories. So I'm going to put it on my website. It's going to be called Stories I Have No Right to Tell. And I'm going to be doing it a chapter at a time. It'll be on gilgerard.com. The first will be called Return to Anarchia, because I never did like the way we treated the Anarchians. Just because they were ugly and mutated and whatever, I just didn't think it was right to treat them like they were all bad. So I'm going to go back as Buck and explore those people and their human side. Because in looking back on it, it's like no wonder they're pissed, you know. No one cares about them. They're out there rotting, and you know, it's like no one gives a damn. They don't do anything for them. So yeah, you know, the only time they come out, they get shot at. You know, it's like that must be really fun. And I could never figure out why New Chicago was under a dome. I mean, I went out to Anarchia. I didn't turn into anything bad. I mean, in real life maybe, but not, you know, on the show. And I was like, you know, and they didn't, when they came out to get me, they weren't out in hazmat suits. They just came out dressed regularly. So I was like, well, how come you got this dome now? Well, how come you need it? It's like, and why don't you take care of these people?
I can't wait till next year, or this year's Comic-Con. It'll be a lot of fun.
It was. It was a lot of fun last year, and I think now that we know what to expect, we can get in a little more coverage of some of the actual events going on,
right?
Rather than just the floor coverage and talking to people and stuff. Although that was
good.
It was certainly fun to do that. So, just like with Kineticon.
Yes.
That was another good one where we'll know what to expect next year too. So, that's all I can say.
Sounds good. All right, let's move along to the wonderful world of science fiction TV and something we like to call Toob News. All right, have you heard about this new show on the Sci-Fi Channel that's coming in April called Defiance? It's a combination of a TV show on the Sci-Fi Channel and a video game that's being released at the same time. It's an American science fiction TV series. It's being developed by Rockne O'Bannon.
Oh, okay.
So he's been around for a while, okay?
Farscape.
Yep, by Farscape and so forth. It's also in conjunction with a Defiance MMO video game, which is connected to the series. It premieres on April 15th, 2013, 9 p.m. on the Sci-Fi Channel. And the whole premise is it stars Grant Bowler as Jeb Nolan, a local lawman in a refugee camp known as Defiance. It also stars Julie Benz. She was in that that superhero family thing on ABC from last year.
Yep, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And Graham Greene, well-known actor. He's done a lot of stuff. The series is set in the near future where these aliens known collectively as the Votans, I guess they do a lot of elections, have come to Earth seeking a new home in a star system that was destroyed. And the Votans are actually 7 different alien species who evolved on different planets. So they come to Earth looking for a new home, but the people of Earth say, I don't think so, there's no room. So they hold them in orbit for 6 years. And after 6 years of slowly running out of supplies, the Votans start a war with Earth, and Earth fights back. They destroy some of the ships, but when they destroy some of the ships, they release a chemical or a compound or something that slowly terraforms the Earth in ways that they couldn't predict. So it screws up the whole ecosystem. So now it's 10 years later. The series itself is set 10 years after this event, and they finally have the Votans, the Votans, which have come to Earth, and they've kind of mingled in with Earthlings and you know, co-species and all this stuff. And part of it, the town of Defiance, is actually St. Louis, because part of the town is the dismantled arch of St. Louis. That's part of the scenario. And I guess the way the whole thing is going to work is, if you buy the video game, you play the video game as an MMO, whatever happens in the TV series has a direct effect on how you play the game.
Oh.
So and you get to rebuild the arch.
Well, I don't know if you rebuild the arch, but yes, and then 2 by 2. Oh, that's an arc. But it's all interconnected. You know, at least they're going to try to make it interconnected. I don't know how serious it's going to be. So that's worth checking out. Like I said, Monday, April 15th, 2013, 9 p.m., Sci-Fi Channel. Sci-Fi Channel also has another show at the end of this month, February 26th, 10 p.m., called Robot Combat League. Think Real Steel meets BattleBots.
Okay.
So they have 12 different scientists, engineers, artists, and so forth. Each one gets this particular exosuit type thing. And like in Real Steel, where the guy throws a punch, the robot throws a punch, and they actually go into the arena and they duke it out with each other. And at the end, there's going to be one winner after these 12 robot suits or whatever.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Sock'em Robots. I used to like BattleBots. That ran for what, 2 or 3 seasons on USA.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So that's going to be Tuesday, February 26th, 10 p.m. on the Sci-Fi Channel. Revolution on NBC returns on March 25th, 2013, if you enjoy that program. CW is going to be producing the Tomorrow People. Tomorrow People, they're doubling down on superheroes. The network already has a hit on its hands with Arrow, based on DC Comics. And one of the producers of Arrow, Greg Berlanti, is teaming up with Julie Plec, I think her name is, who's a producer on the Vampire Diaries. And they're going to produce this Tomorrow People from the network. It's based on a 1970s British TV series.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's what I'm trying to remember.
So that's where it is.
Yeah.
And the story is of several young people from around the world who represent the next stage in human evolution, possessing special powers, including the ability to teleport and communicate with each other telepathically. Together they work to defeat the forces of evil. So think, basically it's heroes and alphas put together.
Very cool.
So, sounds pretty good. And the show ran for 6 years in the UK.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix, or I've seen it.
You might be able to get it on Netflix, or if you go to Hulu or one of those sites, you might be able to pick it up there. So they're working on Tomorrow People for the CW. All right, and that's all I've got this month for Tube News. Let's move on to Wonderful World of Anime in a segment we like to call Anime Daisuki. Take it away, James.
All right.
Yes, that's you.
Yeah. All right, so today I get a little bit of anime. I had reported last month that there was going to be a new live-action version of an anime called Kite.
Yes.
And that it was going to star Samuel L. Jackson. Well, it turns out the director, David Ellis, who did Snakes on a Plane, passed away suddenly this past week.
That's not good.
In Johannesburg, South Africa. So that project now, I guess, is sort of up in the air, and I don't know what's going to happen now with that. But that just got reported. So let's see. Cartoon Network has Toonami, and on Toonami right now, Samurai 7 is going to be finishing up this month in January. So then I don't know what show is going to be following it, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. They might maybe take one of the other shows and just make it an hour block or something like that. So we'll have to see. The Yamato 2199 series of films has number 5 coming out in April. And so every 3 months now they've been releasing a new Yamato film. I guess originally when they were intending to do a whole new series, they didn't have the money to do it as a weekly show, so they've been doing it as films and releasing them in the theaters in Japan.
Well, that's good, because they can do a better job with the effects and so forth.
And at this point today, with the announcement of the Academy Award nominations, there are no anime films nominated for Academy Award animated films. But there are Brave from Pixar and Disney, Frankenweenie, Paranorman, The Pirates, Band of Misfits, which is
claymation?
Yeah, it's a claymation. It's from Aardman Studios in England.
It's Will Vinton.
That's on my Netflix
Yeah,
list.
Will Vinton and Nick Park.
Yep.
And then Wreck-It Ralph. Those are the 5 nominated. And other news, which not quite anime, but is a huge influence to Japanese television and cinema. Gerry Anderson had passed away this month.
That's a shame. He was a great talent.
Yeah. And you know, he was responsible for lots of different period Supermarionation puppet shows, you
and
know,
Space 1999.
Space and UFO, which they're working on a live action, a movie of UFO.
Cool.
So they're taking that concept.
I used to love that series.
So
the only problem is they've got to give their interceptors more than just one rocket.
Yeah, I know. That's it. Once you've spent your load, that's it. You're done.
Yeah, I'm
firing my rocket and running like crazy.
Yeah, because they didn't even have. Did they have machine guns on those things too? I don't remember.
I don't think they had anything like that.
No, but they, you know, the UFOs though, the spinning.
Yeah.
Those were cool.
Yeah,
and the other. You know, the submarine with the with the launch.
I used to like the 6-wheeled cars that they used to use.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. He carried that over to all the different series. One of my favorite series was Supercar. Remember that
Supercar is another one.
And the guys would bounce like, you could tell they were married as. They bounced like, and every time they opened the hatch to launch Supercar, it was the same 3 clouds every time they opened the episode. And the clouds didn't move. It was just like puff cotton balls. You could tell they were cotton balls. But there's those same clouds again that up in the air.
You know what? Most kids didn't recognize that. No. You were a lot more observant than most kids.
Every time, same clouds.
I grew up watching Thunderbirds, and you know, having those different vehicles is great. And in Japan, they love that kind of concept. You know, all the different Super Sentai shows have different types of vehicles. And things like that, and in their anime series. So when I was like in Japan a few times and watching their shows, I could see that, you know, like Zero Tester was one I saw in '74, directly came from or influenced by Thunderbirds with each of the different aircrafts that they used. Let's see, what other shows that he did? Captain Scarlet, which not only was a puppet Supermarionation one, but also as a CG animated one recently.
I missed that one. I still want to watch that one.
That's that one's CG is very good.
That's not on a Netflix thing, is it? I'm not sure if it is or not, or is it?
It was as for DVD. You can get the DVDs.
You can get it on DVDs?
Yeah. And Terrahawks was a more recent one that I did.
I wasn't fond of Terrahawks. I thought the heads were too big on characters.
And he did The Day After Tomorrow.
Yep, which was a after-school special that was aired only a couple times. I have a cassette tape of that.
Yep.
Of the audio from that. I love the music.
Why is the dog glowing in the dark? Well,
no, not that Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
It was a
I know.
you know, traveling through space. You know, on a. All right, and then Space Precinct, which I don't know. I did try to watch it, and it was okay.
That was who's the actor? Ted something,
I don't remember.
the blonde guy. He used to be on a soap opera too.
Yeah. And then the Thunderbirds film that Jonathan Frakes directed.
Oh, P.U.
Well, you know, I thought it was in real keeping with what the original.
The only thing I liked about it was the opening sequence, the rescue sequence at the very beginning of the film. And after the kids took over, it's like, I'm done. That's it. That got really bad reviews.
Got bad reviews.
In my opinion, deservedly so.
But I think, you know, Thunderbirds was more aimed toward kids. So, you know, getting the kids involved like that.
Yeah,
you know,
but it was we adults that wanted to see a decent version because we had grown up with it as kids.
Absolutely.
Right, and I guess we looked at the characters as being more adults, you know.
All right.
Except for the young one. All right.
Sponsored by Gerard. So,
and then I have something here. This is my Space 1999 tech manual
that
I got from Starlog years ago, and in it has like
that's
timeline,
that's practically papyrus.
episode guide, blueprints that open up. for space, for moon base alpha, and things like that.
Oh yeah, show the photo.
Here's a comlink. I always wanted to get a comlink.
Isn't that
the
so
little
funny?
TV
Because
screen.
if you look at that comlink, it's like 5 times as big as my cell phone.
I know.
Now,
isn't that something? And they used to clip it. They used to clip it on the side.
There was a store in the old Rhode Island Mall that sold that handheld television set.
Really?
That looked just like a comlink.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. And
well, they used to use the bottom to get into the different.
Well, it was
rooms,
like their lock. It was
like their key almost.
Yeah, electronic key.
Boy, are we dating ourselves?
I know. And they also had in one of the issues of Starlog a Eagle blueprint, which was a pullout. So, because they don't really have one in the tech manual.
You pulled it out of the magazine?
Oh, man.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is
no more MIB.
But I also had the toy, the
dinky toy?
No, the 2-3 foot long eagle when I was a kid.
Yep.
With the action figures and.
What do you mean
stuff.
had?
Well, I had to move 6,000 miles from, and I couldn't take it with me on the move.
And I bet you 10 to 1 it's been thrown away since.
Well, yeah, that was back in '77. So it's gone. Yeah. So I didn't know anyone. I probably gave it to a friend of mine. So.
Space 1999 fans all over who are watching this are just crying right now.
Yep. But I've also had the model. The model is still available. The Eagle that you can get, and then you can customize it to make it look like, the other different colored, modules that attach to it. And also, if you check out the Sci-Fi Air Show online, they have. Images. Sci-Fi Air Show is created by a bunch of special effects guys who work in the industry, and it basically looks like an air show with all the aircrafts from the Irwin Allen shows, Space 99, Battlestar Galactica, the original Battlestar Galactica, and it looks like people are visiting these types of aircraft at an air show.
It's pretty neat.
And it looks real.
They've got the Jupiter 2.
Yeah, they got the Jupiter 2
now. They've got the Eagle. They've got the Land of the Giants ship.
I had both versions of the Eagle from Dinky Toys. They had a medical version and they had a regular transport version.
Oh, yeah.
Where the center module would drop out and everything. I had both of those, and I had the Dinky Toys Starship Enterprise.
Nice.
That fired the
missiles?
Discs and stuff.
Put your eye out with that.
Yeah, well, they both were in a footlocker full of comic books that I had from the 60s.
Right.
And suddenly, one day, they mysteriously disappeared from my parents' basement.
Oh, no.
Along with all of my not Space 99, all my Major Matt Masons and all that stuff. It was a black day in my house.
Wow.
Very black day in my house. So, I've never recovered completely.
I'll be fine
from that.
Yeah. So, thank you, Gerry Anderson, and for many years.
Yes. That's it for Anime Daisuki?
Yep.
And now, you ready, Jay? It's time for Toys, Props, and Other Stuff, man! Where we talk about the wonderful world of science fiction collectibles, because we're geeky like that, and then we talks about them. Anytime you're ready.
What's a sea space sailor?
What's a sea space sailor? Okay. Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
Soylent Green crackers.
Soylent Green is people.
It's made from people.
Oh, no. You can actually buy those things, too.
Yeah. Tasty.
Oh, tasty.
And next to that, is that the box for the...
That's the box for the Enterprise pizza cutter.
Excellent.
Yes. Doesn't work too well, but it's pretty neat. Turn off the damn phone.
Okay, next. The Steampunk Bible.
The Steampunk Bible. Jay, you want to talk about that?
Steampunk Bible. This is everything you want to know about steampunk condensed into one handy-to-read version. I mean, it's got everything from costuming to steampunk concepts. It's got some great artwork in it. It's got the definitions of what steampunk is all about, and what steampunk fans are into and what they're thinking, their frame of mind. It's really...
Did you like the Green Lantern episode of Steam Lantern from last month?
Steam Lantern was great.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, next to that we have... looks like a Dinotopia
It's a Dinotopia book, yes.
Yep.
Jim Gurney.
Jim Gurney. Yep, I met him in person. Awesome artist. I have that.
Yes, he is. Fabulous guy to talk to, too.
Now, below that silver pizza cutter, we have past issues of our Rhode Island Science Fiction Club newsletter, Graffiti. So if you become a member of the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club, you get a bi-monthly copy of that newsletter, too.
Yeah, we're online now with Graffiti.
Yep.
And there's the pizza cutter right there on the lower left, all shiny and
all shiny and new and ready for pizza. Okay, what else?
All right.
Oh, all right, we have red shirt cologne, so that's appropriate for Jay. You can try some of that today, all right? They have different types of red shirt cologne. Beam down to the planet, and they'll never see you again. And then next to that are is audio of
it's
music from the original series, all 3 seasons, I believe.
Yep.
Because they go ahead.
The soundtracks for those some of the episodes there are great. I had cassette tapes of those, and I'd love to get these CDs. These are brought in by a fan of ours, a friend of ours. So these are great. The original music from some of those episodes, some of them were used over and over in other episodes, but stuff like Amok Time and others. It's just written for that specific episode, and those musical pieces are awesome.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's hard to miss that one because that was used also in the movie The Cable Guy.
Oh, that's
Jim
right.
Carrey,
when he had that night fighting scene, that was awesome. Cool. All right, we're waiting.
And here we have a box of Harry Potter Bernie Bots, all flavored, or every flavored beans. There's even vomit and earwax and stuff like that. And if you want to try some,
they have pickle.
Here.
I don't want to try. I'm not going to. I always end up with vomit, and I was like, no, thank you.
I like the apple.
Apple's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good flavors here.
Yeah, and some not so
you can get these.
I'll give one a shot.
You can get these at
get the blind guy to try
the
one.
Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And some people can I bought these at the Harry Potter Day at the farm.
Right.
At the in Portsmouth, the Escobar corn maze.
Okay.
It tastes like a bubble gum or something.
I think you had grass.
Oh, wonderful.
That light green color.
Get that alfalfa taste in your mouth.
Tastes good.
I got the green apple, which I love.
Cool. All right. Anything else? All right. Now we have 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Other Stories by Jules Verne. Those are 6 different stories by Jules Verne, From the Earth to the Moon and all those other classics, all in one volume. Get that at the local bookstore. Think of it. We can't promote, but it's the only one that's really left. We get it over there. Really inexpensive.
Oh, and speaking of the 20,000 Leagues with the giant squid, they have footage of a real giant squid about 18 feet long. I saw 18 feet.
Yep.
And that video is going to be part of a Discovery show this January.
Oh.
Now, is the body 18
so it's already
feet,
gone.
or is
No,
it body and tentacles?
Body and tentacles.
I'll go you one better. I'll bring in a picture next month of my father standing next to a live giant squid that was well over 18 feet.
Well, I want to see that.
Yes. When he worked out on Adak, Alaska in the Aleutians, the thing had washed up to die, but it was still alive.
Cool. Wow. And right next to it is one of Finding Serenity. It's a book all about Firefly and Serenity and how they were able to turn a TV show that they thought would be gone forever into a movie, which was awesome.
They're like, it's almost like an academic collection of papers people wrote.
Autographed by Joss Whedon himself.
Yes. Very nice.
Hubba, hubba. All right, okay, I think that's going to be it. Any shout-outs we need to make before we go?
New viewers in Wareham.
Nice.
We're going to be, watching our show.
That's close.
And in Fulton County, Georgia.
Hey, Georgia.
How
nice
you all doing down there?
Yeah.
And
send us some peaches or something.
Thanks to Lou and Sandy for being in the audience today, and for Madison for being in the audience.
They provided a lot of the swag that was showing off today.
Yes, they did,
so
and we always appreciate cool swag.
Okay, if you want to get in touch with us, our website is www.risfc.org. We also have a YouTube channel. If you're not able to watch us on public access, you can tell your friends they can watch us on YouTube. And you can check the credits for more info on how to get in touch with us. All right, that's going to be it for this February 2013 edition of Sci-Fi Journal. Thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we will see you with TempleCon footage next month.
And the search for Calvin.
Ah, the search for Calvin.
It will continue.
All right, thanks.